Mhm. Okay. Live, but we will wait for just waiting for So we have people joining in slowly and steadily. I would announce the name of the winner probably in the next 5 minutes, when everyone is there. So, friends, let's move on and talk more. And once again, I would like to take your attention on Yep. So, people, can you please respond on the chat whether you're able to hear me or not? A few of you all are saying that my voice is cracking. So, I'll do one thing. I'll place my mobile close to the Wi-Fi router. Hopefully, see the screen. Let me share it again. So, this is the mind map. Within the mind map, you can do a drop down and go to Python programming fundamentals. When you go to Python programming fundamentals and click, you'd go to a screen like this. And we are talking about data types in Python. And we are talking about sequential data types. Today, we would be talking about sets and dictionaries. And I would be covering a few if else, and if else if statements. Okay, of course, we would spend significant amount of time on conditional statements, but since in the sets and dictionaries, we would be making use of a few of the if else statements. I would actually like to spend some time on that. Okay, so let me go to the LinkedIn profile as well. Let me go to our homepage. And thank you all so much, friends, for following our page. I believe there is huge traction. And there are also team the Python questions which are being posted. And, people are responding to those questions. That's very happening, and a lot of people are also getting job who got trained through us. Their details also you can find on our website. Okay. And if I were to talk about the person who won the Amazon coupon for yesterday's quiz, then let me tell you that there is only one person who has got all the answers, responses correct. Okay. And the name of the person is S. Singh. I am guessing it would be Shreni Singh. S. Singh. My best bet is this is Shreni Singh. She happens to be one of our participants. And if she's there, congratulations, Srini, on getting it right. You're the only person, I believe, who got all the questions correct. A lot of people responded, and a lot of people have responded in a lightning fast manner, but they got a few things wrong. So friends, do respond today also. We'll be posting the questions and I'll be sharing the details of the questions with you all midway through the session, and then you can respond. What are we waiting for? Let's get started. So today is day 5 and we are going to talk about sets. We are first going to talk about a normal set. And let me go to set here and tell you that lists are represented using square brackets, if you see here. Then tuple is represented using the regular brackets. And you also have set, but set is represented using flower brackets. And if you observe two things, set is unordered and set is unindexed. If you are going to assign certain elements to a set, and when you say print the elements of the set onto the screen, onto the output console, onto the output on the console, the sequence might vary. Sequence would not be the same. You know, all this while we were saying that if I assign I certain numbers, and if I say I of 0, that would refer to the first element. Such an indexing option is not available here, yes. And another thing is no duplication is allowed. In a set, in a list, if you add another element 6 and 1, this 1 is repeated twice. That's fine. In tuple also that is fine. But when it comes to set, even if you repeat twice, when you say print the elements of this, it would not print number 1 twice. It would print only once. So it does not consider duplication. It would not take into account duplication. Okay, and set is mutable, meaning you can add new elements to a set. You can delete elements from a set, so on and so forth. You can play around with the elements, you can change. And you have something called as a frozen set. This frozen set is similar to a tuple, wherein it is immutable. The elements which are added remain like that in the set. You cannot amend those once a frozen set is created. Okay. And someone was asking me, hey, if I'm creating a tuple and if I'm not allowed to change anything, how does it help? So it's like blockchain for that case, right? If an entry is made, you cannot erase that. And research has shown that tuple, when you process it, when you use that tuple in any of your, say, machine learning algorithms, and when you try to look at the results, it'll be faster in comparison to a list. That's the good part. So it'll be optimized, it will run faster. Second thing is in, say, auditing, bookkeeping, financial documents, etc. Entries once written, you don't want to remove that. You don't want to erase that. You don't want to give anyone an option to make any changes. Right? In such cases, you want such immutable entries to be created. Immutable means you cannot make any further changes. Once done is done, you cannot go back and make any amends. Usually people do that in bookkeeping, accounting, to make changes, adjustments. Um, Earlier it was possible, now that is not possible because of the digitization. All right, let's move on here. So here we are creating a set, okay? And we are creating a set of items or elements, which is A, B, and C. Okay, this is I would call this as beginning of our exercise, and as and how we move forward, there are various other things that we're going to talk about when it comes to sets. Okay, either you can use flower brackets or you can use brackets like this. All right, so I'm creating a set of A, B, and C, and A, B, and C elements will not have any sequence tagged with it. So, and then when you say print normal set, here, this would get printed, and underneath that, you're saying print normal set. So here, when you put in double quotes or single quotes or triple quotes, this string would get printed as is onto the output. Okay, onto the output window. And underneath that, you're going to print the elements of this normal set. And when I print it, it is not necessary that first you'll have A, then B, then C, because they're unordered. Okay, hope it is helping now. I've zoomed it even. So let me run it. There we go. So as I've told you, the elements of the set. So this first line would give you this because you have normal set written in the double quotes. And then you're printing this normal set, which is giving you B, C, and A. It is not in that sequence. Yeah, that is what we want. Set is unordered, unindexed. You cannot expect the entries of a set to be printed in the same order, B, C, A with flower brackets. That's a set. Now, if I say normal set, if I go to this variable normal set, and then if I say dot add, you want to add. What do you want to add? You want to add D. And then when you print the normal set, this D also would be added to this list. But then, yeah, it'll be in a random fashion. You really don't know whether D is going to get added to the second, second position or fourth position or third position. You really don't know that because the set is unordered and unindexed as well. So here D is getting added towards the end, but that is not mandatory. It is not mandatory that D would get added towards the end. It's added in a random fashion. Okay. Normal set is the name of an object. Okay. So friends, for one person, I cannot repeat everything, right? So we have to respect the other people also who are joining on time. So anyways, the recorded video is being given to you guys. So watch it, right? Watch it again. All right. Frozen set, as we have already discussed here, if I go to set, frozen set is immutable, meaning the changes or the entries once created cannot be changed. So I'm saying frozen set of E, F, and G, right? When I say print the frozen set and print this, what it does is, first it creates E, F, and G elements, which are immutable, cannot be changed once created. And you're storing those in this object or variable. And the name of this variable is left up to you. Logically give some name. Even if you say ABC or XYZ is equal to frozen set of this. all these elements will get stored in XYZ or ABC. And here I'm saying print within double quotes, I'm giving this frozen set. So that would appear as is. Okay, that would appear as is here. And then you're saying print frozen set. So whatever are the elements of this frozen set would get printed here. What are the elements? E, F, G. You have E, F, G, but it won't be in that, sequence. Okay, it won't be in that sequence because sets are unordered and sets are unindexed. All these things that you're learning, friends, are extensively used in data analytics. Exactly, can you name me which algorithm it would be used? Not really. I mean, such a classification or such information doesn't exist. Data science includes umpteen number of algorithms, thousands of algorithms. And sets is something which can be applied in any of those algorithms given your data. Okay, so all these things that you're learning are foundations. It's something like this. You have a word called apple. You have a word called ball. You have a word called cat. Tell me in which context you're going to use these. In English language. Would you be able to tell me? Not really. In a similar fashion, you're learning all of these things, which are like building blocks, which are like alphabets, which are like words. In which context would you use? Really depends on the business problem that you're trying to solve. Remember that. Okay. And in a frozen set, when you say print frozen set, whatever are the elements would get printed here. Now, if I say add an element here, what did we do? We have added D to normal set and it got added because it is mutable, editable. But if I run this frozen set.add of H, would it add? Not really. It has to throw an error. It has to throw an error saying that, hey, frozen set, we cannot add anything to that. Frozen set is a set which is frozen. You cannot add anything to it or delete anything from that. It's frozen. That's it. Okay. We are taking a slight detour now, and we are going to talk about if functions, if else, loops, right? So on and so forth. Why are we doing that? If that is your question, my answer is in the subsequent lines of code pertaining to sets, we will use certain if, certain else if statements. Okay, and to understand those, we would go through a few of these, if loops, if else, if loops, so that you are clear with these and don't get panicked or press panic button, friends. This is exactly how you need to learn any language, be it German language or French or Spanish or whatever language. This is how you learn, be it English or any other language. Okay, we are saying x equal to 3. So all you're doing is you're taking this number 3 using this assignment operator. Okay, using this assignment operator, you're assigning this 3 to a variable or object called x. Instead of x, you can give anything. Then, if x is less than 5, if x is less than 5, you always need to have a colon there at the end of your if statement. Then print x. If x is less than 5, print x, meaning print the value which is here. This ends the loop. And also you're saying print 5. So also print a number 5 is what you're saying. Okay, you could have as well stopped here. But just to give you some more meat to chew, I'm writing print 5. So if I were to run this, it says 3 and 5. So print x would actually print 3 because x is equal to 3. And if x is less than 5, yes, absolutely, 3 is less than 5. So you want to print what is there in x. There ends the story of if. And you're also saying print 5 as a separate line. Okay. What do you think will be the result when you run this? What do you think will be the answer if you run this? Yeah, go ahead, friends. Let me know the response. Let me know the answer. You can put your answers on YouTube chat window. Please go ahead. I'll give you a minute to let me know the answer. There'll be, yeah, how many responses would you get? How many print statements do you have? And one more thing is, always between operators and operands, it's always good, best practice to use a space. 21, then 25. Good. So let me run it and demystify your answers. Okay. So here you're taking 21 and assigning it to an object collects or a variable collects. You're taking 25 and assigning it to an object or a variable called y. And then you're saying print x. Print x would actually take the value of x, which is 21, and print it here. If x is less than 10, here you have 21, which is less than 10. Then you're saying print x. But is 21 less than 10? Not really. You have x equal to 21, which is actually greater than 10. So this if statement would not get executed. And then if you say print y, whatever is in y has 25, that would get printed. Now we can play around with this. I can choose a number, say for example 2. And if I were to run this, what do you think will be the response? First, when you say print x, whatever is in x would get printed. Now you have 2. And it will go to this if loop. If x is less than 10, and here absolutely x is equal to 2, which is less than 10. If it is less than 10, then again you need to print x. And that is what you got. X is 2. And then you're saying print y. You get 25. So the if loop got executed because it meets this x value meets the condition here. If it does not meet the condition, if loop is skipped. If it meets the condition, if loop is executed. And then you get the result out. Next. Yeah. What do you think will be the answer to this? A, you're assigning number 23 to A. And you're saying if A is greater than or equal to 22. In this case, yes. And always when you write your if statement, end it with a colon. And then the next line that you have should have indentation, that additional space, if you see. It's not starting from here, that additional space means this part is part of this loop. That is what it means. And you're saying if A is greater than or equal to 22, which in this case is true because A is 23. Absolutely 23 is greater than or equal to 22, and then you're saying print if. Let me run it. Then you got if. What will be the answer to this? Let's see how many of y'all can crack it. It's basic English. Basic English. If this is true, print this. Else, if this statement is true, print this. If both of these statements are false, then print this, is what you're saying. If, else, if. For this, may I know what will be printed onto your output console? After you guys respond and I explain this, we will also share with you all the LinkedIn link pertaining to the quiz questions. Quiz questions for yesterday's session would be posted here. I'm waiting for that link. The moment I get that, I'm going to post. A lot of you all are responding correctly. Okay, let's now demystify this. A equal to 20, right? So you're assigning number 20 to an object or variable called A, and you're saying if A is greater than or equal to 22. In this case, A is 20. It's not greater than or equal to 22. So this part is skipped. This part is ignored. Then it goes to the next part. Else if A is greater than or equal to 21. Look at the way it is written. And then you are once again giving an indentation and then you're saying print else if. This is also false, right? A is 20, it is not greater than or equal to 21. So once again, this is skipped or ignored. Then it will go to this part. Obviously, here you are saying if this and this, if this is false, then obviously print this. So you're saying else, colon, for all the other A values which do not satisfy this and this, print else. And that is exactly what gets printed here. Look at the response. Okay, so you can make changes, friends. This code, whoever is giving the attendance, we are going to share the Python codes with you all on our learning management system. You all will be given a username and password, and you all will be given 30 days time for doing two things: download the code and data sets, which we are eventually going to use for our programming session. And then you also can download participation certificate. Okay, these are the two things that you would get. And our learning management system is called as AI Sprite, which is artificial intelligence Sprite. Okay. So you can make changes and then you can see what will be the output next. Suppose you're creating a set and it's a null set, meaning you're not adding any elements to it. It's just a null set. Nothing is there in this. And you're assigning to a variable called set1. You're creating another null set, meaning there are no elements in that. And then you're assigning that to another object or variable called set2. And when you say print set1 and set2, it would give some outputs onto the screen and it will just say empty sets. Next, For I in range of 1 to 10, for loop, if loop, all these are very, very similar. Of course, we'll spend a lot of time on loops. We are yet to get there. In the next sessions from next week onwards, we would extensively explore the loops. Okay. Here we're saying for I in range of 1 to 10. When you say range of 1 to 10, you will have numbers such as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The last number is ignored. Remember? That is exactly what happens with respect to Python. And this will have an index number 0, this will have an index number 1, index number 2, so on and so forth. Index numbers in Python starts from 0 onwards. And what you're saying is, for I in range of all those numbers, first it will go to 1. This will give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So first it will say for I in 1. Okay. You're saying go to set 1, which is now a null set. Go to that and add this 1 because I is 1. So add it to the set 1, comma. Again, go to this loop. For I in 2 this time, you go back and say go to set 1 and add this 2 as well because I is 2, 2. So it will add to the set 2, comma. Then for I in 3, okay, go to the set 1 and add 3 because I equal to 3 now. Right. On similar lines, it will go to I equal to 4 and then add number 4 to the set 1, then 5, then 6, then 7, then 8, and finally 9. After 9, it will come out of this loop because you want this loop to be run, to be executed for these range of values. The moment you reach the end, it would come out of the loop and then you're saying set 1. So whatever would be there in set 1 would get printed onto the screen. A very simple loop. This is how you need to learn. Start with the very basics. Slowly and steadily build on top of that. So if I were to run this, you'll get to see the responses. So you have set 1 and set 2. You are printing those two. But then both of those are empty sets. So the empty sets get printed here. Next, for this loop, you're saying set 1. So that's coming here on the screen. Okay. What is the next block of code here? You have this block, wherein for I in range of 3 to 10, set2.io. What would be the output of this, friends? I think you should be able to answer this. Now, set2, initially when we created, if you observe here, set2 is an empty set. There are no values in it. It's a null set. And then you're saying, run this. What do you think will be the answer? For I in range of this, what do you want to do? For this, for I in 1, what do you want to do? Is written here in the second line. Okay, so I think a few of our friends are getting it right. So here you have range of 3 to 10. So you have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. The last number is absolutely ignored. Okay, the last number is absolutely ignored. Then you're saying for I in 3, go to the set 2, which is a null set, and add this value I. So 3, comma. Then again, it goes back to this loop. For loop is not exited yet. For loop will get exited once it reaches the final value in this scenario. So for I in 4, you go to set 2 and add this 4 also, 3, 4. Then for I in 5, do the same thing for I in 6, 7, 8, and 9. Keep adding all these values to the set. And finally, print these set 2 values onto the screen. When I run this, answer would be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. See how simple for loops are or if loops are. People unnecessarily press panic button. Oh my God, programming, not my cup of tea. It's so difficult. No, it is not difficult. It just needs some element of practice. That's it. Even before we go to the next set of blocks of code, here is a quiz. Okay, the link would be posted on the YouTube chat window as well. Friends, run it. Don't be in a hurry to respond. Run it carefully. Already, I think Raj Kumar has responded, but then it should be correct. If you're in a rush and then if you're responding, would it actually add value? Not sure. So run it. Okay, run the code and then carefully give the results. There is no hurry as such. All right. So I'll just give you a quick 1 minute. And friends, please follow our page. Trust me, there'll be wealth hidden here. There'll be a lot of benefits for you all. Lot of free sessions. Every month we are going to conduct some or the other free session which could add value to your careers. Okay, ask your friends, relatives, whoever you feel might get benefited to just follow our page. Okay, back to the code. You can answer that, post the session. Now you have union of sets as well. You would have learned as part of your school days that set 1 or set A, you have set B. Union means you take all the elements of A, all the elements of B, and then print it onto the screen. When you say intersection, you'll be focusing only on this part. That means the common elements. Intersection would have the common elements of both the sets. Union means you're going to have all the values. Okay, so let me just rectify this and set 2. Okay. So you have set 3 is equal to set 1. This is union operator. The link to the quiz is posted, Vikas, on the YouTube channel. See those 3 links that are posted? In that, the first link is pertaining to that quiz. Okay. This is a union stuff. So when you have set 1, all you're trying to do is you're saying set 1 union with set 2. Set 1 union with set 2. This is also called as OR operator, OR. And then you're storing the results in set 3. So let's see what is there in set 1 in the first place. Set 1 contains all these numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and then your set 2 contains all these values. Union means all the values in set 1 and set 2 should be printed. And what are you doing after this? You're saying print union of set 1 and set 2, colon, set 3 is equal to, I mean, whatever you write in these double quotes would get printed onto the screen as is. Okay, you can also say this is set 3. Whatever you type in that would exactly get printed onto the screen, friends. You give something meaningful. This is all to bring in some readability into your programming. When someone who doesn't know the program looks at your lines of code when they run it, they should very easily be able to understand the output also. To understand each line of code, you are writing your comments. You're writing comments for this blog, you're writing comments for each line of code. That's the best practice. Vis-a-vis, when you print the results onto the screen, you're also ensuring that there is some readability. All these are best practices. If you start using it right from the word go, you'd become a good analyst. So if you were to run it, the union of these two. So then there are no new elements in set B, set 2. All these 3, 4, 5, etc. are already there in your set 1. So you take that, print it, job done. Then you have intersection. Always give a space like this when you write comments. That's best practice. So here you are saying set 1 and set 2. When you run this, it is only going to display the common elements of set 1 and set 2. Set 1 has values from 1 until 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, until 9. And in set 2, you have values 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So what are the common elements here? All these and all these. So those are getting printed here as part of set 4. Okay, next. Let us check if there is any relationship between set 3 and 4. All these are the comments for the block of code. When you write block of code like this, rather than writing each line in each block, if you write bunch of lines in a block, and if that block of code is giving you some end result, that is called as modularity. For example, in your data science, when you're building up predictive models or when you're doing machine learning activities, there are different stages. Like the first stage is you load the data, you import the data into Python. Then what you do is you do data cleansing or data pre-processing. Within data cleansing, you have various things such as outlier analysis. For outlier analysis, you can have one block like this. And for handling missing values, sometimes data would be missing. Okay, then you apply techniques such as imputation. For imputation, you'll have another block of code like that. Modules. When you write your code in this way, it becomes more readable. And remember, in the interviews, what happens is, first round of interview would be all verbal. I mean, they'll ask questions and then you respond. And if you get through that in the second round, most probably than not, in 90% of the cases, people will give you a data set and a business problem, and they ask you to solve it. They'll give you 1 day or 2 days time and they ask you to solve. Even if you cannot get to the end solution, expectation is that you at least follow proper coding practices. You write proper modules of code. You give comments to each and every block or module. You explain each line with a comment. Okay, this is the best practice, friends. And then you'll be easily able to clear the interview. Don't assume that, if I solve the business problem, that's fine. But then if your programming is clumsy without any proper documentation like this, proper comments for the blocks and lines of code, then you might not even clear the interview. You might feel that, hey, I solved the business problem. I achieved amazing accuracy. I built a model with 99% accuracy and they have not selected me. Yep, these are the reasons. These are the reasons. Even if you achieve 70% accuracy, if you're following all these best practices of writing the code in modules or in blocks and then naming each block appropriately, and for each line, if you're giving a comment, then job done, you will certainly get selected. Okay. So here we have if else loop. So you have set 3 and set 4. Okay, and then we are writing another piece of code like this. Okay, let me select this. Okay, you have set 3 and set 4, and you're writing lines of code like this. If set 3 is greater than set 4, then print this. Set 3 is superset of set 4. Else if set 3 is less than set 4, then print set 3 is subset of set 4. Else print set 3 is same as set 4. Yeah? Either it will be greater than or less than or equal to. So you're writing code in this way. In set 3, you have 1, 2, 3 all the way until 9. In set 4, you have 3, 4, 5, etc. So set 3 is considered to be superset, right, of set 4. Why is it called a superset? Superman, right? Like that. It's a superset because it contains all these elements also. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 are also there. If set 3 contained only these and then set 4 contained 1 and 2 also assume, then you would have called set 3 as subset of set 4 because this set 3 is a sub or a small portion of set 4. If set 4 contained 1 and 2 as well. If all the elements are the same, then you'll have this. So let me run it and then show you the result. Set 3 is superset of set 4, obviously. Okay, this part is true. If that part is true, it will not even go to these two cases, scenarios. Next. Okay, now I think I need to quickly write the elements of set 3 and set 4 here so that it's easier for us to understand. So set 3 contains 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, that is what is given here. And then you have set 4, which contains here, it's given here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. If set 4 is less than set 3, is set 4 less than set 3? Are the number of elements in set 4 less than the number of elements of set 3? Yes. So set 4 is a subset of set 3. Right? Set 4 is called a sub. It's only small portion of set 3. Then what you're doing is you're saying first print. This character is a special character which is called as new line character. So when you print this, what happens is just a blank space would be created and your cursor will move to the next line. New line, move to the new line. Don't print it on that. You move it to the next line. Then in the next line, you're saying print set 4 is subset of set 3. If set 4 is less than set 3, which is true in this case, because set 4 contains these elements, which are a subset of set 3, then print this onto the screen. Remember print statement. Whatever is given in the double quotes would get printed as is. You type something meaningful here. And then there is a third line wherein you're saying, again, give a space, again, give a new line. So if I were to run it, see what happens. Oops. This is what it has done. And this is what was expected as well. So when you run these lines of code, set 3 is superset of set 4 got printed as is. But when you run this, there is a new line. There's a space, unlike this. Then you have the second line. And then again, you are saying, I want another new line. So that is what is getting printed. Why are we doing this? Just for fun? And there is no meaningful reason why you give these new lines, but just for you all to understand that there is new line. This is how we are printing. Sometimes you'll have multiple lines of output that you want to print. Then for better readability's sake, you'll give those new lines in the output. Because when you work on a project and when you submit, not just the input, but also the output has to be given. Even in your interviews, when people give you a data set and ask you to solve that, then you need to copy paste this code or download this code in a PDF document or some format and then share it with the respective stakeholder, your interviewers. Okay. Would it go there? Yeah. So let me erase these things. You have once again set 3 and set 4. And here we are saying difference between the two sets. We are creating a new object or variable called set 5. And you're saying set 3 minus set 4. Set 3 contains all these elements minus set 4. So you remove all these elements 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 from the set 3 and then give the results onto the screen. So what are we doing here? You are having two print options. One is print elements in set 3 and not in set 4, colon set 5. And whatever you put in double quotes would get printed as is, friends, onto the console. And you're saying print the elements of set 5. Also give a new line. I mean, give space here. That is what you're saying. So if you were, or if I were to run this, you get the answer as print the values of set 5 and then give a new line. Then you have this. If set 4 contains certain elements, and you also have set 5, what is contained as part of set 5 is nothing but 1 and 2. Okay. So you're saying if set 4 is disjoint of set 5, then disjoint means these two sets are completely different. That's the meaning of disjoint. You have 1, 2 here in set 5, and in set 4, you have all the other values 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These two are completely different. So these are called as disjoint sets. If the elements here and here are different. And then if that is the case, what are you saying? Print set 4 and set 5 have nothing in common and also give a new line. Yeah, instead of two lines, you're combining them into a single line. You're making it condensed. You're ensuring that within less lines of code, you accomplish more. Again, all these things are for readability purpose. Would I prefer two lines of code as opposed to three lines of code? Yes, sure, I would. I won't feel overwhelmed by looking at many lines of code. So what did it print here? Yes, set 4 is disjoint of set 5. These two are disjoint sets. Hence, you're saying print this, that is exactly what we have printed. And also this new line has actually given or introduced a new line in the output. Next, you're saying set 5 dot clear. That is pretty simple, right? Whatever are the elements of set 5, you're removing those, you're clearing those, and you're printing these results. After applying clear on sets of set 5, print set 5 equal to whatever are the elements of set 5. What do you think will be the result? It will be empty set, a null set. Okay, you're clearing whatever is there. And then what are you saying? You're saying print. You print this as is. Once again, whatever is in the double quotes would get as is printed onto the screen. And then you're printing the next line, which is this. Set 5 is equal to, here you're saying, you're printing an empty set. Because all the elements are cleared. Next line of code is help. I mean, you can get a lot of help on sets. Okay, you have discard, intersection, disjoint, so on and so forth. Update, union, and all that. And when you go to our mind map on our 360 Digit MG website, you'll also find those operations. Add, update, remove, discard, pop, length, clear. All these are the functions for set. Okay, next. Next, let me move on here. Dictionary. Okay, do we have time? No, we have only 2 minutes time. So I would rather not start this, and we would look into this dictionary aspects next week on Monday. So again, you'll have classes from Monday until Friday, and week 2 would start. You'll have 4 weeks of training, and we will learn more amazing things in a fun-filled way and very slowly. And please, please dedicate your Saturday and Sunday towards practicing all these things. Otherwise, you might forget. The only thing that will help you get a good handle on programming is practice. Keep practicing, keep learning. All right, I'll stop here. Please go to our LinkedIn page and then follow our page and answer the questions, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. There are a bunch of things coming your way. Send the link to of the mind map. Okay, let me do this. Let me copy this mind map link and then share it with you guys. I share it with our team on the Zoom chat window. Our team is going to post that on the YouTube chat. Okay, and please, please go through this. There are a lot of interesting mind map stuff available. Yeah, for frozen set, you just need to write frozen set. That's how you write, right? For a frozen set, you write it in this frozen set. And the difference is when you create a normal set, it's only flower brackets. If it's a frozen set, it's also giving the regular brackets and then the flower brackets. Thank you all, friends. Do share it with your friends, your associates, and thank you. Have a great weekend.